First Alert StormTeam meteorologist Joseph Williams with your VNN News Now evening forecast. The time is currently 6:13 p.m. and it's a cool night ahead of us, but also a quiet one with mostly clear skies, just a few upper-level clouds streaming through our region. So yeah, we've seen a cool weekend with temperatures in the temperatures in the low 40s. We saw temperatures in the low 40s yesterday. We saw temperatures in the low 40s this afternoon, upper 30s to low 40s this afternoon, and that trend is likely to continue into basically the rest of the work week. We'll stay within the low 40s, which is a few degrees above normal for mid to late November. Overall, though, we are basically done with the 50s and 60s that we saw last week. So that is something to keep in mind. Again, thanks for joining us. First Alert StormTeam meteorologist Joseph Williams with your VNN News Now evening forecast. And let's kind of get to what I'm talking about here. We've dealt with this cool pattern since the start of the weekend. After seeing those temperatures in the upper 50s on Friday, cooler air started flowing into a region, and so we saw temperatures in the 40s this weekend. High pressure now dominating the northern plains, giving us that quiet pattern in the process, but in return also bringing that cool air into a region. That's why we're seeing those 30s and 40s heading into tonight. So I'm going to get to the forecast. Let me see if I can pull this up right here. There we go. Now you can see better. Again, here's our surface map showing what's going on. We got high pressure centered in Minnesota, and as a result, it's bringing that dry, stable air into our region. So that's why we're seeing those mild temperatures. Now out west, you may have noticed those two low pressure systems out in the Rockies. I'm going to go back a little bit and show you what I mean. Got these two low pressure systems out in the Rockies. That's part of a complex low pressure system covering the Rockies, and that system is making its way east. It'll bring some moisture into the southern areas of our region tomorrow night, and then another round of moisture is expected this coming midweek. So let's take a closer look at our region as of tonight. You can see some upper-level clouds are streaming through our region. This is indicated by these faint white blotches here, faint white lines there. Those are upper-level clouds. And temperatures are currently in the 30s, 38 in Fargo versus 32 in Jamestown and Oaks, 33 in Sisseton, versus below freezing temperatures in northwest Minnesota. Now, I mentioned that we got into the upper 30s to low 40s across the region. Now we're seeing those temperatures dropping as we head into tonight. Looking at our first look forecast, you can see some upper-level clouds still streaming across our region, but we are going to stay dry. We're looking at a quiet night ahead of us, a mostly clear night ahead of us. By your Monday morning commute, still looking at a partly to mostly sunny sky across our region with temperatures below freezing. Then we'll see upper-level clouds streaming into our region throughout Monday afternoon. So Monday afternoon, we're not looking at much sunshine across our region, and the cloud cover gets thicker the heavier it gets heavier, the further south you go. So if you're traveling down in northeast South Dakota, you're not looking at much sunshine at all. And notice this little line of green here. That is moisture trying to reach the surface Monday afternoon. That's because, again, I mentioned those low pressure systems on the Rockies. Those low pressure systems will bring moisture into the central plains on Monday afternoon and evening. And that some of that moisture may try to come down to the surface in our region as we head into Monday evening, although I don't anticipate any raindrops in our region throughout Monday afternoon and evening. It won't be until about 8 to 9 o'clock, in fact, that we start to see some of those greens in northeast South Dakota. So if you're in northeast South Dakota, you have a good chance of seeing some precipitation after 8 to 9 o'clock Monday night. And then as we head into the early overnight hours, we could see some wintry mix embedded within the rain as temperatures drop close to the freezing point in northeast South Dakota. So you may see some snowflakes and raindrops the further south you go Monday night. But by 6 a.m. Tuesday morning, any leftover moisture is out of northeast South Dakota. And meanwhile, the rest of our region is going to stay dry. It's just northeast South Dakota and maybe a portion of Traverse County in Minnesota that could see that rain and mix for Monday night. The rest of our region is expected to stay dry Monday night, just cloudy, and by Tuesday morning, that cloud cover does break up. probably looking at less than a quarter inch of liquid precipitation in northeast South Dakota. So not much precipitation expected from the showers. The bulk of the precipitation will be in central and southern South Dakota, away from our region. Now, we're looking at some more precipitation opportunities after Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday, particularly as another low pressure system makes its way through our region during that period of time. Not much moisture anticipated from the showers, but let me show you what I mean on a first look forecast. Now, Tuesday evening, we're just looking at a mix of clouds. We're going to stay dry. But as we head into Wednesday morning, scattered rain showers will push through our region, and we'll see those scattered rain showers continuing into Wednesday afternoon and evening, even into early Thursday morning. So basically between late Wednesday morning and early Thursday morning, that would be the best opportunity for seeing some of these scattered rain showers as this low pressure system and the frontal boundaries associated with it slide through North Dakota and Minnesota. The rain showers do move out after late Thursday morning, though. And by Thursday afternoon, high pressure from Canada will bring dry, stable air into the northern plains, leading to a partly sunny sky for Thursday and Friday afternoon. How much rain are we looking at from the showers? Well, not much. Probably looking at about, quarter inch of rain from those showers. Although models do vary on exactly where that quarter inch of rain will fall in North Dakota. So stick with Values Live for first alert updates as we first alert track that precipitation. One other thing we're keeping an eye on is the temperature. Now for the morning commute, temperatures will be in the mid to upper 20s, looking at 25 in Grand Forks, 27 in Fargo. Wind chills will be in the upper teens to low 20s because of a light wind pushing through the area. By the afternoon hours, we're looking at temperatures in the upper 30s in northeast North Dakota, 39 in Lakota, with a wind chill of 31 in Lakota. Northwest Minnesota, similar deal. Actual air temperatures being in the upper 30s, wind chills being in the low 30s, like 37 or 32 in Bagley versus 40 and 35 in Monoman. Down south, we're looking at highs in the low 40s with wind chills in the mid to upper 30s, like 44 and 37 in Fargo and 44 and 37 in Wapaton, with a mostly cloudy sky during that time. And we'll stay under this mild weather pattern throughout the rest of the work week. We'll be under what's called a zonal flow pattern, where the jet stream's winds are more or less moving west to east. Very few variations in like how the jet stream is oriented. It's not like going up and down big time. It's just a few little bumps and dips here and there with the jet stream. And that means all the cold air is basically going to stay up north throughout the work week. And the mild temperatures, the warmer temperatures, will stay south of the northern plains. We'll be in the center of that zonal flow. And as a result, temperatures will stay in the 40s for Tuesday afternoon, Wednesday afternoon, Thursday afternoon, and Friday afternoon, which means we'll be under this mild weather pattern for the rest of the week. In terms of exact numbers, we're looking at low 40s for Monday through Thursday and upper 30s for Friday. So we are going to be on the cool side, but the temperatures will be slightly above normal for this time of year, at least a few degrees above normal for this time of year. In the long term, though, this mild weather pattern will eventually go away, and in fact, models suggest that we could see a cooler weather pattern settling in as we head towards Thanksgiving week, and especially as we get closer to early December. Russ Thomas had talked about what's known as a sudden stratospheric warming event, where essentially the polar vortex that keeps all the cold air up north starts destabilizing, and cold air from it starts shifting into the northern plains in the process. And you can kind of see that with our 8 to 14 day temperature outlook. For November 24th through the 30th, temperatures will be near average in eastern North Dakota and northern Minnesota, as indicated by the lack of orange or blue anywhere in our region. So basically, temperatures will be around average as we head towards Thanksgiving week. And for context, highs tend to be in the upper 20s to low 30s, and our lows tend to be in the teens. So that means we're on average going to be trending near or below freezing as we get closer to Thanksgiving. And more importantly, notice this blue color out west for that same period of time. That indicates that below average temperature pattern that we've been tracking for the past past week or so, that indicates that cooler than average pattern beginning to move into the U.S. as we get closer to the end of November because of that sudden stratospheric warming event forcing that cool air from the Arctic down into a region. So basically, as we get, basically by the end of November, heading into early December, we're looking at temperatures at or below normal, and that means it's going to feel like the winter season is here, even though, which is to be expected because we are getting closer to meteorological winter, which is the first day of December. I bring up that temperature outlook in part because around Thanksgiving week we'll also be likely above average in terms of moisture amounts across our region. Notice this deep green color covering eastern North Dakota and much of western Minnesota. That indicates we'll be likely above average in terms of moisture amounts, in terms of precipitation chances. So basically, we may see a somewhat active Thanksgiving week ahead of us. And since temperatures may be trending near average, which means below freezing at times, we'll have to keep an eye on wintry precipitation chances. Although it is too early to tell whether we do see any wintry precipitation as we get closer to Thanksgiving week. Models are likely to change as we get closer to Thanksgiving week. So do stick with VNN News Live for first alert updates as we get closer to Thanksgiving week. But let's recap everything here. Temperatures will stay within the 40s for highs and upper 20s to low 30s for lows. So we'll be mild and above normal, a few degrees above normal for this work week. Heading into next week, though, temperatures will at first stay a few degrees above normal in the upper 30s to low 40s, but by the time we get closer to Thanksgiving, by the time we get to Thanksgiving itself, temperatures will be basically back to normal in the low to mid 30s at best with a partly sunny sky. And all the while, we are looking at a few opportunities for precipitation. Monday night in the southern areas, like northeast South Dakota, we could see some light wintry mix, or at least some raindrops taking place in northeast South Dakota. So if you're traveling south, be prepared for those rain showers Monday night. And then Tuesday, taking a break from the rain. But Wednesday and Thursday, a few isolated to scattered rain showers are expected. So expect some more raindrops on Wednesday and Thursday across the rest of our region. Then we take a break from the precipitation Friday, Saturday, and Sunday with a partly sunny sky for all 3 of those days. And then I mentioned next week a chance of some precipitation expected as we head into Thanksgiving week. That's why I showed that 8 to 14 day precipitation outlook, because some models are suggesting precipitation chances as we get closer to Thanksgiving week. But again, that is several days away, so the forecast is likely to change. Therefore, stick with VNN News Live for first alert updates. Now, one last thing before I get off of here, I want to mention that tonight is the peak night for the Leonids meteor shower that is expected. Now, the Leonids meteor shower, as the name suggests, it's a meteor shower that seems to originate from the Leo constellation. So basically, during the overnight hours into early Monday morning, this is peak time. We're expected to peak in this meteor shower scenario. So you may see, so if you go outside at the right period of time and you look at the right point in the sky, you may actually be able to see a meteor or two lighting up the night sky. The best way to do that would be to go outside in the countryside, basically, look up at the night sky in the east, northeast, and the east, and look up at the Leo constellation. You should be able to see a meteor coming down. You should see a meteor shower coming from that Leo constellation. I just kind of wanted to bring that to your attention before I get off here. So, oh, sorry about that. I accidentally ended the stream a little too early. Okay. Okay, now back to me. Okay, just to recap everything, again, looking at a couple of opportunities for precipitation. Best chance will really be on Wednesday and Thursday with those isolated rain showers expected. Not much moisture anticipated from those showers. And as for temperatures, again, afternoon highs will be in the 40s, lows will be in the upper 20s, and all the while we're looking at a mix of sunny clouds when we're not dealing with those isolated rain shower chances. And then we will start to cool down to start seeing colder temperatures as we get towards late November, as we get towards the last few days of November, approaching early December. We'll have to keep an eye on that temperature trend as we get closer to Thanksgiving week. So stick with VNN News Live for those first updates. I'll also be giving periodic weather updates on the VNN First Alert Weather app, and I'll also be on for VNN News Live at 9 and 10. Lisa Green will also be on for Valley Today if you're not able to watch any of tonight's shows. In the meantime, I'm going to get off of here. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch this. Have a wonderful Sunday.